The self-deportation of a dying dwarf galaxy, dying dwarfs. A cosmic requiem for the American Empire from the deep fields, from the first galaxies, called dying dwarfs, smaller than expected, yet burning. We finally know how the dark formless void of the early universe came to light. They weren't the grand stars, the giants we thought. The free-flying photons in the early cosmic dawn, Lewiskalpantikli, were the Hobbit small dwarf galaxies. No, these low-mass galaxies, abundant, produced more than enough energy. They birthed the light, from murky hydrogen and intergalactic space dust, ionized the neutral hydrogen, helium fog, ionizing photons, transforming neutral hydrogen into ionized plasma. For 300k years, after the Big Bang, the universe cooled. Most wavelengths could not penetrate the murky fog. A few moments later, in universe time, 1 billion years, at the end of the cosmic dawn, the first stars were born, generating radiation strong enough to deport electrons away from their homeland, nuclei, reionizing the gas, and there was light. Cleared the void, made the cosmos shine. They were the engines of reionization, the fragile embers that started the universe's fire. Now, look west. Look at the old galaxy, the insular US, not the massive spiral of myth, not the Sombrero Galaxy, M104, but a dying dwarf, they say. Its light dimming, choking on its own ideological internal dust. It gathered pre-ideological dust from every wind. European settlers from England, Germany, Netherlands, layering on the ancient dust of First Nation indigenous peoples. Black dust from kidnapped bodies, dragged over the transatlantic water. Dust from Irish potato famine fields, German political storms. Chinese gold dust, railroad steel dust. Southern and Eastern European coal and factory dust. Mexican Revolution dust. The Immigration Act of '65 scattered new seeds, Mesoamerican fire, Asian light. Refugees from war-torn lands. Now, from Asia, Africa, the Middle East, the dust piles high, from external military foreign policies, settling, shifting, coming home to roost. 1,000 shades, browning the landscape. The southern continental pulse strong, undeniable, growing. This dwarf galaxy, once imagining itself a single, totalitarian white sun, now a swirling nebula of unexpected hues. And the ringmaster steps forward, the showman of resentment. Belligerent face against the alterity. Invoking whiteness like a ventriloquist, freighted with victimage. He sees the Trojan horse of immigrant fertility, the social licking encroachment. Demographic warfare branded on the mind. This, the great replacement circus. The looming existential catastrophe. So they plot the final act. A stage cleared by force. A demand echoing in D.C., from the halls of ice. Pee Wee German, Stephen Miller's voice, sharp, relentless. Triple the early pace. A new target etched in bureaucratic bone. 3,000 people ripped away, every day. Demanding quotas, demanding numbers rise. A goal of 1 million ghosts a year. Resources demanded, beds acquired. State violence, weaponized, raw, unmasked. But listen to the impossible math, the circus calculation they conjure. 3,000 per day, for 4 long, anxious, grinding years. This perverted proposition. It means, in their logic, 4.7 million gone. Out of the 331 million souls counted in this dwarf galaxy. The white, non-Hispanic majority, 57.8%, included in this great vanishing. The growing Hispanic pulse, 18.9%. The black, 12.1%. The Asian, 5.9%. The 2 or more races, 2.8%. The Native American and Alaska Native, 0.7%. The Pacific Islander, 0.2%. All part of the absurd expulsion. This dying dwarf galaxy exhaling a taco, itself. A self-deportation of dust, of flesh, of false, fake narrative stories. A vacuum where cities stood, where bloodlines ran. A silence heavier than historical trauma. And the punchline, sharp, sardonic, a forensic hymn. That in this final, impossible act, the Native Americans, maybe, just maybe, may finally get their land back, #landback. The hazard politics of the Trump 2.0 era. The migrant bodies forced into motion, becoming the twisted, ionizing protons and electrons. Not birthing cosmic dawn in space, but initiating a collapse, a dark reionization. A collapse of the old dwarf. Not birthing light, but absence. Is this the new universe they longed for? A cosmic joke. One part hillbilly elegy for the departed, counted or uncounted. One part indictment of the hunger that devoured its own faint core. One part resurrection? Perhaps. Of bone from soil, of river reclaiming its banks. Of ancestral cartographies redrawn, not by conquest, but by collapse. A hilarious, terrible dawn. The lights went out, the dwarf galaxy exhaled its impossible sum of its legal fictions. And maybe, just maybe, something else began. Not the clearing fog of hydrogen, but the empty stage. Not the birth of massive stars, but the violent death of a dwarf. Leaving only the dust, the void, and the terrible quiet land. By Tezozomoc, copyright 20250601.